you've not been so specific, but do you think it's Mario Odyssey 2?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Or are you just keeping your options open that it could be a kart?
Anything Mario could be Mario Golf 2. It could be anything. Mario Pickleball. Like a new frontier for Mario.
Welcome to the Press Start podcast, Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast, back for another year. I'm your host, Ewan, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, Brody.
Hello.
And James.
Hello.
Today we're going to be unpacking Press Start's official top 10 games of 2024, discuss the most anticipated games of 2025, and share some predictions for the year ahead as well. But first, it's been a couple of weeks since we last all got together and recorded a podcast. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe something like that. I'm curious, what have you been playing, if anything, in the time that we've had off? Brody, have you had any time to dabble in something different?
I haven't really, actually. No, I've decided to pick up a book. I'm doing something very unlike
radical.
me, and I've been reading a book. So, look, I'll have read it over the course of 2 years effectively, like 2024 and 2025, but I am a slow reader. But look, I've set myself a challenge this year to read 12 books, so a book a month, so I'm going to see how I go, and I'm going to count this one, even though I've read 80% of it in 2024, but here we are.
I kind of took up reading again last year, and I did fall off a little bit towards the end of the year. But it was nice to actually read. I hadn't read properly since high school.
I think the last book I seriously read was in 2018 when me and Katie went to England, and I had time on public transport. And I was just reading then. But yeah, I don't read a lot of books. It's quite embarrassing.
Too many good games to play.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's good that you had a bit of a change of pace though. What about yourself, James? Did you play anything?
I have been playing Indiana Jones. I think that's the main. Yeah, that's my big single player game. I'm taking really long to get through it though. I can't play it heaps at a time, but I really like it. I think it's incredible that I've been playing for 20 hours and I haven't shot a bullet at any point. I'm kind of surprised by that. It's very
I had to force myself to do it just to see what it was like, and then I was like, cool, that was gross, never doing that again.
Yeah, literally. It's very, it knows exactly what it wants to be, and I kind of respect that. And then obviously I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals still. Yeah. And then
I've been playing a bunch of Marvel Rivals as well.
My James pick is the Final Fantasy Origins DLC. Remember Stranger of Paradise?
Oh, yeah.
How can we forget?
Yeah, literally. Such an underrated game. Real talk. Everyone should give it a shot if you like action games. But anyway, Ewan, back to Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals. I wanted to jump in on that because I've been playing a bit of that too, and really enjoying it. But yet to really find that many characters that I gel with. I know there's a practice mode. I want to kind of try that and just experiment with a whole bunch because I feel like it's a little hard to do that within the context of a match where there's already toxicity kind of spilling into the chat as well.
I've got a solid 6 now.
Solid 6?
2,
wow.
I would say 2 from each category that I'm pretty okay with.
Okay. Who were they?
Oh, I don't want to say it loud. This might be embarrassing. Nah.
Why would it be embarrassing?
Because, some of the characters are cringe. But so for tank, I'm always either Venom or Strange.
Yeah, nice.
For DPS, I'm Aquaman, Namor, that's his real name, sorry. And Hela, I think. And then for support, I'm Adam Warlock or Luna Snow.
Oh, yeah.
Can't
cool.
remember. Yeah. So, it just depends on my team. I feel like people don't know how to play the game, team comp-wise. Everyone just seems to go to their favorite characters, right? So that's why I kind of had to force myself to get really good with, each category in some way. Not that I think I'm really good, but get better, I should say. Yeah.
It pays to pay attention to which other characters people are selecting and adjust.
Playing your role. If you pick healer, you should probably heal to most people who are picking healers.
Yeah. I'm actually a Mantis main. I like Mantis.
My mate loves her. He's very good with. He gets MVP every match he plays her. So it's just too confusing for me. Not confusing. I just can't be bothered.
I'm getting trumped by my friend playing Cloak and Dagger and racking up a stack of kills with Cloak and Dagger, which is odd for a healer, but that's the nature of that character. But I get so many assists off the back of it with the buffs. It's really cool. As for alongside Marvel Rivals, though, I also finished Indiana Jones. Really impressed with that. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. It very much just felt like an indie story in video game format. And I thought each kind of area was really quite unique and cool. Yeah, very impressed with that game. And like you, Brody, I'm like super eager to see what they take with that, where they take that series now. Yeah. I hope they do more.
Question for you both without notice. James, probably you haven't finished it yet, but if this game had came out 2 months earlier and you finished it, would it have factored in your votes for the Game of the Year, perhaps?
I did think about that. I don't think it would have cracked my top 10.
Fair enough.
This year for me, a lot of my games weren't in the top 10 purely because I just liked other games better. It wasn't that I didn't like. You know, I think I reviewed 30 games all up by the end of the year, plus whatever I played for fun. Not that it's not fun when you review.
Because it's one of those things where, like, people just don't understand that we don't get to play everything, and like things are awfully close to like deadlines and stuff. Because there was all the comments that were just like, "Where's Indiana Jones?" It's like, well, guy, like we did our votes like a week before it came out. So
I don't know. There was a lot of comments about Dragon Age not being in our 10, which is like obviously. I got that like a month before it came out, which was really good timing because no other games were out then, so I could play it and enjoy it. But not as many other people did on the team because there are other games out at that time too. So it's just how it is, I guess.
It's a tricky.
I think given more time with Dragon Age, that might have threatened. Looking at my 10 now, actually, Brody, I think it probably would have gone into my 10. As would Black Myth Wukong, which I've been playing a bunch
it would have got a vote.
Couple of weeks as well.
It would have got a vote.
I am not a big Souls guy, but for whatever reason, this game is like really connecting with me. And I seem to be making a lot further than I would. I feel like it's a little bit more approachable than it
like does feel like I would say simplified compared to other games, which is like fine. Like I'm not saying it in a bad way. I think it's probably I think that's probably why a lot of people seem to like it so much compared to other games in that genre. Yeah, but if I had to pick a game like that, like another Crab's Treasure for me was, I mean, obviously it's not like technically as impressive, but I think the story and the I guess cleverness with how it, kind of puts that underwater theme into like a game like that is really cool, especially towards the end.
Yeah, I've been actually playing that a little bit in the last week, and I kind of regret not having picked that up throughout the year. It's actually quite good, yeah. Souls-like of the year, if you will.
All the regrets are coming out now. Yeah. The other like stranger pick though that I did play over the break was Onimusha Warlords. James played right through it on my Switch. I was kind of curious, kind of given all the excitement around it after the Game Awards. Never really had heard of it, like let alone played it prior to that announcement. But it was on sale. It was like $12 on the Switch. I'm like, why not? I'm looking for a game to play on my Switch. And thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I think Warlords is the remaster, right? Like I think the kind of updated controls and that and stuff make it quite approachable. I quite liked the combat. I thought it was like an interesting, I want to say story. I think it was pretty light on story, but the premise of it, like kind of feudal Japan, kind of warring factions or warlords. Like kind of leaning into demons and summoning demons to like better equip themselves and stuff. I thought it was quite an interesting premise, and I'm now eager to see what the next Onimusha looks like.
It kind of sucks that you can't play the other ones. Well, you can in a way, but not legally or easily.
Yeah. Where does Warlords fit in? Is it like a remake?
So Warlords is the first game.
The first? Okay, all right, cool.
I think it was actually, I could be wrong, maybe I'm talking about my ass, but I'm so sure it was a PS2 launch title, or it was very close.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so, it was 2001, so it would have been around the mark, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like a late PS2 release. Like, it would have to be early, I sort of feel.
Yeah, it was I think it's cool how it's a lot of real Japanese history kind of mixed with this kind of demonic flavor.
I wondered that. Yeah.
All of the games are like that. The third one even takes things to Paris. Like you're splitting your time between Paris and Japan.
Oh, wow.
Jean Reno's in it too. They wanted to try and expand its appeal a bit more. A bit of a random pick because I don't think he was huge at any point.
When was Leon the Professional?
Yeah.
A decade
I know
before
who he
that,
is, but I don't know. Like he's not a massive movie star in my opinion.
No, he's like Peter. Peter Stormare. Like think about him in Until Dawn.
Maybe he'll be in the next Onimusha.
That could have been Jean Reno's moment.
Make me even more excited for it. All right. Well, we did kind of touch on our top 10 games of 2024. You might recall before we wrapped up last year in the podcast, we kind of shared our top 5, but we foreshadowed that the official top 10 of press starts was still to come out. Brody, can you take us through the process? Just remind people listening at home how these top 10 come to be.
Of course. So pretty simple. Basically, everyone on staff who wants to contribute, and not everyone does, because not everyone plays nearly enough games to feel like they've got a breadth of experience for the year. But everyone that does, of which there was 10 of us this year, we submit a list, which I just did up a little Google form that everyone submitted to anonymously. Well, not anonymously, but privately, I suppose. And then the list is weighted from 1 through 10. Your one pick gets 10 points, and your second pick gets 9, and on it goes from there. And then, obviously, I just take all that data, crunch it into a spreadsheet, and we come up with a top 10 from there. So I think in all, I've just pulled up this little roundup that I did. In all, there were 45 games that appeared across the span of everyone's...
Just a staggering amount of games.
Yeah, there was a lot of games that had like one vote that would just like pop up in, the end of someone's list and stuff like that. It was very surprising. Like, there was a lot of different games. Like I said, Duck Detective: The Secret Salami got votes from somebody. And so if that doesn't tell you how wide the experience was this year, like nothing else will. So so obviously 10 of us by 10, 100 possible nominations for a total, I think, of 550 votes. So it was a bit of fun, and I always love this time of year. I love the top 10. I love the game of the year. It's always very exciting. So unlike other years though, we didn't really have any dead heats in the middle of voting, so we didn't have to go back in for a second round like we have. It was all pretty straightforward. One very clear winner, and the rest fell in from there.
I do like when those dead heats kind of crop up though, and we get, we need to all decide between these two games, and we don't really know where they sit at the time as well. That can be quite tense. All right, well, here's how it netted out in case you missed it. At number 10, we had Banishers Ghost of New Eden. At number 9, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Number 8, Helldivers 2. Number 7, Animal Well. Number 6, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown. Number 5, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Number 4, Metaphor ReFantazio. Number 3, Silent Hill 2. Number 2, Balatro. And in number 1, Press Start's Game of the Year, it was Astrobot. James, what were your thoughts on the list? Was there anything that surprised you or you were particularly pleased about?
No, not really. I think I think it's quite a boring list in a way that, not in a negative way, just I don't think there's any major surprises there. I think everyone had very similar top 10s, I would argue, this year. I know the team didn't, but I think just looking at other publications and such.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm very happy Banishers made it into our list.
Me too.
Still think that game is criminally underrated. I think most Don't Nod stuff is post Life is Strange, but this game especially. How
much do you think you and I carried Banishers?
I think a lot. I've got a sneaking suspicion it was just us, maybe.
I can confirm. Hang on, let me. You guys keep going. I'll have a look.
Do we want to know? I can't actually remember. I've got a feeling it might have even been in my bottom 5 though, but it was our 10th, so that kind of makes sense.
It was number 3 on my list. So,
but like I was saying about indie, I liked indie, what I've played of it so far, but just other games, even I know Dragon's Dogma almost made it in our list, and I loved that game and the experience and the journey and stuff, but just all these other games I just loved way more popped up towards the end of the year, like Metaphor, Silent Hill, which I was not expecting personally. Even Astrobot, I didn't really... I mean, no, actually, no, I lie. The trailer looked good from the beginning, so that doesn't surprise me. I feel like that always looked good. I don't know. Nothing super surprising. So many games I personally loved that I would love to see recognised. But I recognise those games also are Slitterhead. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is the most fun I've ever had with a puzzle game, I think, ever, maybe. I played it in a room full of friends, and it was just a really fun social experience. But yeah, pretty good. I would be interested to see. I know that there's maybe next year, maybe Brody.
Yeah,
no pressure. If we have an indie list and a AAA list, and I would be interested to see how that would net out. But obviously, every year is different, and the composition of the releases is always going to be different too.
I wouldn't want to rob an indie of the opportunity to win the Ultimate Game of the Year as well. I understand.
True.
Yeah, because Balatro could have easily won this year, and same for Immortality a few years ago. That could had someone in the team, played it, other than maybe you and
I
me.
think Immortality was high on our list, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
third
it was third.
something? Yeah, which was really cool. Yeah. But,
so there's a few sobering facts that I realised here, and maybe next year we'll buck the trend. But in my little bit of fun roundup in this thing, did you know that PlayStation games, as far as our Game of the Year goes, a PlayStation published title has taken out the top prize 6 times since 2017. There's only 2 years where a PlayStation game hasn't won.
And they were both Remedy games.
They were. Alan Wake and Control, yeah.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
That's pretty crazy. Like, I'll admit, most of them fairly earned, like, good games. Like, I think Horizon was kissed on the cock. Like, that shouldn't have won, but... nevertheless, it's very interesting.
The only one I think I've ever been happy about, like, obviously, this is my opinion, not the opinion of the publication or anything. I don't know, or whoever, whatever.
You speak for yourself. Now. Yes, yep.
I'm making it. Yeah. Returnal and Astrobot are the two that I've always been happy about personally.
Yeah.
Everything else.
I think Returnal got lucky to a degree. Like, I think that year was a
absolutely
down kind of year, but it was still a great game, obviously. I
don't think I voted for Returnal. Like, I think I really struggled with it the year that it came out. But I found a love for it later in like the year afterwards. As soon as they added co-op, I was like, this game is amazing. Why didn't I play this last year?
A few games that were very close to that top 10 that are probably worth shouting at. And I mean, like, some of these games missed out by a vote or two. Dragon's Dogma 2 was it was in the 10, very close to the end until like a few more of the votes piled in, and then it sort of just got bumped out. Never was around the mark, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 was lurking at one point for a top 10 finish. So obviously well done to those games. But
some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with the balance. Like James says, I think it was a pretty it's a safe 10, isn't it? Like it's you couldn't really argue with much that's in there. Like, I was happy to see Animal Well pop up in there. That was one that obviously spoke to a handful of us. Helldivers obviously had that moment at the start of the year, and I think that definitely deserves a spot, even though it didn't necessarily, capture my heart. Banishers, as you say, I can confirm that you two voted for it quite handsomely, and it did get a point or two from me. I've only played it for maybe 5 or 6 hours, but I still liked what I had played. In the top 5 for both of you, I just checked. So, Balatro, obviously, I was hoping for Metaphor to, sneak up a little bit higher, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think a pretty solid 10 in the end, and probably, couldn't argue with much about it.
Yeah, I was pleased Balatro came in where it did. I was very late to the party on Balatro, but it did end up making my personal 10 in the end too. And Silent Hill 2 coming in at number 3 really surprised me. I reckon that kind of like, if I was to guess, I reckon that kind of sat in enough people's like middle or like 5 to 10 sort of range that it kind of made its way up. It just kind of benefited from like a good overall average.
Yeah.
In comparison to my own list, I think all but 2 made it. Which maybe that says more about me than it does the list. But I was particularly pleased with that. And Prince of Persia, obviously, I've been banging on about all year as well. But for that to come in at number 6, I was stoked. And Astrobot, number 1, I don't think it really comes as any surprise. I think there's just a universal appeal to that game that, similarly to Silent Hill, it maybe kind of appeared on enough people's lists to just by the kind of numbers game it made.
I was just looking at your list, and 8 of your 10 games made the top 10 ultimately.
Yeah.
Only 2 that missed out. And as I said, one of them was very close. So.
And one of them was Dragon's Dogma. So very close. But yeah, interesting now that having played Black Myth Wukong and Indie, that maybe my 10 might have changed. I'd be curious to see how that might have affected things. But anyhow, can't do everything.
The road not travelled.
Let's look ahead to the year instead now, though, and talk about what games are due to be coming out. I'm curious what games the two of you are most looking forward to this year. Do you have kind of 3 most anticipated games that you're eager to play in 2025? James, let's start with you, if you're ready to go.
I definitely this is kind of like my McDonald's game. Like you know what you're gonna get, right? Like it's not like high art or anything, or like fine dining, but it's comforting and
I think you're being too harsh on McDonald's here.
I want to know what this game is.
Yeah. Well, it's Assassin's Creed Shadow. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's like the one that comes out immediately. I think what excites me more about this year is stuff that we don't know about that is almost certainly coming, which I think we'll talk about later, potentially. But yeah, my early days ones are probably Monster Hunter. More just excited for that so that Resident Evil 9 starts getting promoted at some point. Assassin's Creed, and maybe Fable.
Okay. Not the kind of picks I would have expected from you. I thought you'd have
What do
said
you
Metroid Prime 4.
I'm like up and down on that game. I still don't know. No, in terms of I'm going to play it and like enjoy it as soon as it comes out, for sure, I hope. I just am not convinced it's this year, but maybe I will be wrong.
Right, okay. Well, 3 good picks.
Although I've just read my predictions and I think I'm about to like contradict myself.
Yeah, we're going to do predictions next. Just
I was talking about early year. So that's my Monster Hunter, Assassins, and whatever else I said.
Fable. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice. My 3 are Doom: The Dark Ages. Cannot wait for that game. I just love the Doom games so much, and I think like the medieval twist to the Dark
Ages
a good one. Has me really excited. It's like could not be more up my street. So that's high up my most anticipated for the year. In a similar sort of vein, Ghost of Yotei as well. Like I love Ghost of Tsushima, and I can't wait for more of that and whatever they kind of add to it based on the last one. So Ghost of Yotei very high up my excited list. And then the last one I'm going to shout out as well is FBC Firebreak 2, just because I kind of love this like Remedy verse they got going. It's a very different kind of style of game for them, obviously being kind of a 3-player cooperative game. But you know, I've got a circle of friends that love these Remedy games, and the idea of us kind of all being able to play together and like dabble in that world together sounds really exciting as well. So I'm curious about that one. That's probably the one I'm least sure about. Like I'm pretty confident Doom: The Dark Ages and Ghost of Yotei are going to be fantastic games. I'm a little unsure about how FBC Firebreak is going to net out, but excited for it nonetheless. What about yourself, Brady? What are your 3 most anticipated games?
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to 3. There's so much fascinating things coming this year. To sort of borrow James's format, I'll go with, maybe one early, one that I expect might be mid-year, and then maybe one that's end-year. I know that's not his format at all, but he ultimately went early, but nevertheless.
He's trademarked it.
I think my early year game will probably be Avowed, having played that a couple of times. Like I'm excited for that sort of truncated fantasy experience that I think Obsidian do well. So I'm keen for that. The one I think maybe middle to back end of year will be Death Stranding on the beach. Obviously very keen for that. I was a massive fan of the first game.
I had a moment there where it's like, is it subtitled On the Beach?
It is, unfortunately. I miss it when it was DS2. Like, bring that back. And then, I don't know, I'm torn. I could name 3 more games here. Like, one that's definitely not confirmed, but may come out, like Judas, but I don't think that's coming out maybe this year. So I'm going to say instead Mixtape by Beethoven and Dinosaur. The Artful Escape was very much my jam, and I like the how the soundtrack is shaping up for this one, so I'm very much in for it.
Nobody said GTA 6.
I know. I was just about to say that. No one said GTA 6. Are we not excited for GTA 6?
Do we think it's coming?
That's interesting. I'm not. I don't know why. Like, I know I just said I'm excited for Assassin's Creed, but I feel like I don't see how GTA evolves.
Yeah,
to the point where it appeals to me. I think it'll. Yeah, personally,
I'm at that point where I feel like I may have outgrown GTA. Like I don't want to say I'm above that satire. I'm above it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit condescending, but then you just went full in, all in.
Fuck them kids.
I don't know. I'm really excited to see what like GTA does, like in the setting with the kind of political climate that kind of America has found itself in since GTA 5.
Absolutely.
Like I think there's a lot of interesting things they could do there, but that's maybe more on like the themes of the game rather than any of the mechanics. Like I think you're right. Like it's going to be interesting to see how, if at all, they can kind of build on what they did in GTA 5, like a game that's kind of famous for having everything in it. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to quite live up to expectations in that regard, but we will have to see, I guess. speaking of looking at the year ahead, though, shall we share some predictions for 2025? We kind of tasked ourselves with dreaming up 4 different predictions prior to recording today's episode. And as we've sort of done in previous years, I'll take a record of these 2 and we can see how we did at the end of the year. We did our 2024 kind of predictions and review for the kind of final episode last year, and it did not go well for any of us. So hopefully it goes better this year. Do we want to kind of go through a prediction at a time and go around the circle one at a time until we've done all 4? Does that sound... I think that's how we've done it in the past, right?
We can do.
Whatever you want, Yui.
Brody, how about you kick us off with your first prediction then?
Sure. Okay, bit of a double-pronged one, and does play on my comment just before about GTA. I think GTA 6 slips from its 2025 release window, but Half-Life 3 will get announced instead. There's been signs.
I love these double-barreled predictions.
There's been signs. The G-Man's voice actor, he tweeted for like the first time in 4 years the other day, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a little bit of smoke, so Half-Life 3 is coming.
So, hang on, I'm already not doing my job and taking note of these predictions. So, Brody, you're saying that GTA 5 will slip.
Yep. We'll slip into 2026.
We'll get Half-Life 3.
But we'll get Half-Life 3. Not launched, just announced.
Okay.
If
Interesting.
it launches now, then I'm kind of... Do I get a half point if it does launch? I think I'm going to get a half point for that. I'm going to take.
Well, it would have to be announced for it to launch.
That's true.
So
That's true. Yeah.
You're getting that point.
Okay.
Wow, it's a big call, but I like it. Seeing as I have a GTA specific one, I'm going to jump in here as well. My first prediction is Grand Theft Auto 6 will trump the sales of GTA 5 in its
What a brave call.
Period, to be lauded as the biggest entertainment release of all time. As we might recall, GTA 5 was once the biggest entertainment release of all time, but I reckon 6 will supersede that. But double-barreled as well. Hang on.
Quickly. No.
Go for it, James.
Do you mean, because it's the biggest launch of all time, was it the biggest launch, or did it just make the most money after a while? Are you saying during launch period?
I mean the biggest launch, the biggest kind of launch weekend.
It made $1 billion in a week.
I think that was,
like
yeah, it made $1 billion in the first weekend, and that made it the biggest entertainment release of all time. So that's my prediction is going to beat that.
It will shatter records.
And it will, however, fall short of hitting the 97 Metacritic score achieved by GTA 5.
Was it 97?
That's my prediction. 97.
Man,
that is
so high.
That's egregious.
And there's all likelihood that it could be 97, 98, whatever. But I reckon it's going to come in slightly under. That's my prediction.
Holy moly.
James, what's your first?
What's your GTA prediction?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Mine is Nintendo Switch 2. That's the title. We probably know that already. But is launching in May/June.
Ooh.
Both.
And it's launching... No, well, yeah, the first shipment in May if you miss out. Second shipment in June. I'm just picking those 2 months.
One of those 2 months.
Of course,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. And it's launching with a Mario for the casuals and Metroid for the sweaties.
Ooh.
I like that.
I like it. I hope that's true. I would say, I feel like all the signs are pointing that to be true.
Buy a Mario.
I know you've not been so specific, but do you think it's Mario Odyssey 2?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Or are you just keeping your options open that it could be a kart?
Anything Mario could be Mario Golf 2. It could be anything. Mario Pickleball, a new frontier for Mario.
What about Arms 2? Are we going to get Arms 2?
Arms 2, no. We will, but it will be called Legs, and it's all about kicking.
Legs 1.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Brody, what's your second prediction?
Xbox are going to have its developer direct this month, and they will. I think they've had one in January for the last 2 years, so I don't expect them to change that now. And the surprise one more thing is going to be a full remaster of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Wow. Oh, Oblivion. Okay. All right. Cool.
Oblivion.
I feel that.
All right. What's giving you this feeling?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. You just hear these things. You hear that they're working on, a remaster for Oblivion, and it's always they love dropping little things at these. Hi-Fi Rush, may I remind you, which they now don't
do that
own.
So soon to Avowed?
More sense.
Should I pivot and make it just a Bethesda remaster? Would be no. I like Oblivion. Let's go Oblivion. But it may make more sense. But you make that your prediction, James, please.
I'm not doing that. That's not.
No.
I got my juicy Xbox One.
Oh.
Again, I hope that's true. We'll find out very soon whether or not you're right, I guess, there, Brody. If it's to happen this month. Maybe by next episode.
I'll have a point on the board by the end of the month.
All right. My second prediction, sticking with the Nintendo Switch 2, I predict it'll finally launch this year, and before the year is out, Hollow Knight Silksong will be available on the console. That's my
Silksong, you say?
It has to happen, surely. Wasn't it meant to come out in 2023 and it was like they delayed it?
I think
we heard
maybe
nothing about it
2022.
last year, other than Jeff Keighley coming out and saying they're still cooking. I reckon they're just getting the announcement right. They're waiting for the Switch 2 to be announced, and then it's like, bang, here we go.
Possibly. I like it.
That's my prediction.
It feels time.
Okay.
It's time.
It feels time. It feels like time. Not to put any pressure on them, but it feels like time. James, where are we at? Number 3?
No.
No.
This is
number
his
2
second.
for James.
Yeah.
So, this is my Sony one. Death Stranding 2 on the beach will release in 2025. However, Ghost of Yotai will not.
Oh, you're doing me dirty. You're doing me dirty.
You had me in the first half. Double barrel.
What's giving you that feeling, James? Just
just
reading the
know.
tea leaves?
I just know.
Sony have
just
too much on
haven't-
the cards for 2025
I just
already.
know
Lack
how
of Game
Sony
Informer.
first party works at this point, right? I feel like they've never stuck to their guns with dates.
When did Tsushima come out? It's been a
2020?
while, right? Yeah. Prolonged development cycles. You could be right, James. I just don't want you to be.
It's getting worse too. It's not getting better.
No, you're right. You're very right. And they've got the Pro now. They've got to make sure they're making the most of that. Yeah, you might be on
The
something.
all the pisses have to be in the right place.
All the pisses have to be just right. You got to get the pisses just right. Brody, what's number 3 for you?
A bit of a negative one, this one, but I think Marathon is going to launch, and it's going to launch to middling acclaim, and fail to gain traction in what is another live service gaffe for PlayStation.
Ooh.
So, sorry, Bungie. I'm really excited for it, but I just can't see it getting the legs.
I'm thinking about how exactly they word this one. Struggle to gain traction, fail
To find an audience, whatever you want to say.
failed to find an one. Okay, we'll get the gist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if that happens, do you think that's it for PlayStation's live service strategy? They just go, enough's enough. Like, we're
We
back
still
with
got
this.
fair games, baby. It's still got to come out. Fair games.
I just wonder how, they're 50-50 at the moment, right? They had a hit with Helldivers 2, and then Concord could not have failed more spectacularly. But that's a 50% strike rate at the moment. How bad does that percentage have to be for them to just jump ship from it entirely? I wonder. I sort of feel like if they had another bad one, they would go, let's rethink their strategy. More so than they already are. Okay, number 3 for me. Sticking with the theme of delays then, I speculate Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra will be delayed out of 2025. Again, as much as I don't want that to be true, and this game has been a long time in the coming. I think it was first announced back in 2021, so it's been a long time coming. I just feel like poor Amy Hennig does not have the best track record, and there's kind of another twist in the tale that is this game.
I think it's worth clarifying that I don't think she has a good track record. I don't think that's her fault. I think she's just been dealt a real
No, absolutely.
She's just a writer, right? I don't mean to be just a writer, but just she's not managing the project. So But you're right. When I was
sorry, I didn't mean to make out that it was any fault of her own. It's just
I listened to an audiobook the other day about Uncharted 4, and I thought about her, and I was like, what's she been up to? And I looked it all up, and it's Forspoken.
Yeah.
And then
the Star Wars game that she was working on got cancelled.
Star Wars, I just feel like she cannot catch a break.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I also once again thought about it, and her writing is so distinct and it has a vibe to it. I would be keen to see, even though I don't really care about Marvel, but Rivals has taught me
I think this game is going to come
game.
out, it will be great when it does come out, but I just feel like it's not happening this year. But I feel like if it's going to slip, it's going to be like early 2026. We'll kind of get it in like a January, February, March sort of window. That's kind of my feeling. Cool. James, your number 3? No, your number 3?
So this is my Xbox One. I think Fable is getting pushed out of 2025.
Even though you're looking forward to it early this year.
Even though I'm looking forward to it this year, I'm setting myself up for failure.
It's been so long coming.
I know, and
there have been rumors of this lately, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that. I think there was a guy that was like El Snitcho or whatever it is on Twitter.
Right.
I think he did a tweet or an X, whatever you want to call it, last week where it was suggesting that Xbox would have some delays this year, and I can't think of any other game people would care about other than maybe Fable.
There's 3 prongs to this fork.
This trident.
This trident prediction. Nah. So the other one I said in their place there will be a Forza from Microsoft internally, or like a Gears remaster of some sort. And that's the only stuff that's going to be from Microsoft's internal studios, as in the people they had before the acquisitions, because I didn't think about Doom until Ewan said it. So I don't think there's going to be anything from Playground this year.
Right.
Hang on, Sam. Is this tacked onto your Fable prediction?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just put it into one sentence. So Fable will get pushed out of 2025.
Okay.
And the only game from Microsoft's first-party internal studios is a Forza or a Gears remaster of some sort, or remake.
Yeah, or a collection, a Marcus Phoenix collection, if you will.
Just there's some kind of Forza or Gears again. Like, it's not going to be Halo, because that we know where that's headed.
Who do you think would handle the Forza? Not Turn 10, you wouldn't think.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, didn't they have a Forza game come out last year?
Just get Polyphony Digital in.
Yeah, get them in.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just put some more Hot Wheels DLC out.
Can I just clarify? When was the last Forza? Isn't it 2-3 years ago?
Forza Horizon or Forza? Didn't Forza Motorsport come out last year? Or was it the year before?
I don't think so.
It's long. It's been a while.
That's why I think
it's.
I think Forza Motorsport's
I'm
more
Googling
recent.
it. I'm just...
Maybe 2023.
I think you're right. I think it's been a while.
Considering they used to shit them out every 2 years, like, I feel like it's been.
I thought it was like Forza Horizon 2022, and then maybe Forza Motorsport 2023. Yeah, I'm right.
Yes.
Forza
Horizon 5 came out 2021.
Is that right? Shit.
Motorsport 2023.
Yeah, but then they've also been working on bloody Fable since then, so it's not going to be a Horizon thing. Nevertheless,
maybe it'll be Forza Horizon 6, but it's in Albion to make life easier. They can just create the world there.
They're like, hey, we already have this world.
Let's
just slap some roads down.
It will pivot to a live service game. Yeah. All right.
You know what? I'm here for it. I like it.
Fable Horizon 6.
Okay, this is getting zanier. Brody, what's your fourth and final prediction for 2025?
To slightly contradict my first prediction.
Okay.
If Grand Theft Auto 6 launches, whether it's GTA 6 or not, it could be another game. I think Australia will experience a high-profile game that gets refused classification.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of has to be GTA 6 if it's going to be something like that. Or, what's a game that could have, drug use or something like that? Atomfall or Judas or something like that. I don't know. Something might get knocked back, I think. I shouldn't have said high profile. I shouldn't have said high profile. I'm going to get done by semantics here. It'll be in indie or something.
It'll be some obscure game no one's heard of before. What was the last game that got refused classification in Australia? That's a tough trivia question for everyone.
Hotline Miami 2?
Yeah, I remember that one being... That was the most high-profile one.
We Happy Few was back in 2018, maybe?
Yeah. State of Decay, I remember, ran into an issue back in the day.
State of Decay 3 could have dramas if that comes this year. Maybe it won't, but... I don't know.
Interesting. I wonder what it'll be. My final prediction, bit left of field, the critical reception to the Minecraft movie will be surprisingly good.
No.
And nearer to the Super Mario Bros. Movie on Rotten Tomatoes than Borderlands.
What are each of those? Let's clear that up.
So I think I had a look before. Super Mario Bros. Is sitting at a tomato meter score of 59%.
Surprisingly high.
Borderlands is like 10%.
So it needs to be above,
So
say,
it needs
30 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't
Just
reckon that's a
remember,
shot.
when the Mario trailers were coming out, everyone was like, not sure about this movie, looks a bit shit, not sure about Chris Pratt and his accent.
Yeah, but
And then it kind of came good.
these Minecraft trailers have been something else. Everyone is backlit.
They have been dire.
Everyone is backlit.
Have they been as bad as the Borderlands trailers were, though?
No, but it doesn't need to be much better than that.
No.
No.
I just feel like there could be something in it. Like, I think...
I am Steve.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm holding out hope for something in it.
Who
but
else is in
that's
it? Jason
maybe
Momoa.
a rogue prediction.
and he's got like
Yeah.
bangs, doesn't he? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
James, what's your fourth and final prediction?
This is a James one. I just had to. So Resident Evil 9 will be revealed. It will feature both Jill and Leon as playable characters, but it's not
Yes.
out until Q1 2026.
I like it. You said 9, right? Will be
Yes.
playable characters.
Do you want to take a punt
Like
at
the
a title
follow-up to
for
Village.
a bonus point?
2026.
What was the question?
Do you want to take a punt at a title for a bonus point? Or do you think it'll just be Resident Evil 9?
It has to incorporate the...
It
Yeah.
doesn't
The
have
number
to.
somehow,
I
right?
think maybe like Resident Evil
Benign.
9.
Helix. I'm trying to think of what
Right.
word has X in it.
Oh, Helix is good.
Oh, of course, yeah, because the IX.
Yeah, Helix
Phoenix.
or like
Phoenix Rising.
no, that's
Helix
that's
could be
terrible.
cool.
What about like no, don't
Soldier
worry.
of Fortune,
I think-
double Helix.
Helix makes more sense because like DNA viruses, the
Yeah,
vibe.
you're right.
I'd be so down for that. I'm just a novice when it comes to Resident Evil games, but has Jill featured in one other than 3? Has she made appearances
Yes,
then?
well, she was the first. So she's in 1, 3, Revelations, and then 5. So we haven't actually, story-wise, we haven't seen her since 2008, if you don't count the shitty movies. So I think based on what happens in 5, they've written her into a corner and they don't know what to do, and I think they'll finally get her out.
Okay. So I've still not played 1, 5, and 6. Do you reckon I should be trying to play
You should definitely
5
play like
then
1 and
before-
5.
1 and
1
5?
and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I can pick them up on the Switch and now I can play it on
Absolutely.
there.
Cool.
Now that
Yeah.
I've finished on Amusha. Cool. All right. There's some excellent predictions there. We've got stuff on GTA 5, so it's 6 even, Switch 2.
Can I just quickly butt in?
Uh-huh.
I've
With a
got
fifth
Shannon's
prediction.
predictions.
Oh,
yeah.
did Shannon text them
Live
to you?
from Vegas.
Let's
I'm
just
offended.
roast Shannon's
Now,
predictions.
I'm offended because I asked him before the show if he wanted me to share his, and he said no. And now he's giving
It's
them
in our
to you.
group chat, so I'm lucky I'm looking. I've got my finger
Yeah.
on his pulse. That's
All
for
right.
sure.
Okay,
Beg
give
your
us
pardon.
Shannon's predictions. I'm curious.
Okay, so Shannon's first one is the Switch successor will have some kind of new gimmicky accessory, and he's written in brackets bonus. I think he means like bonus points.
This is his prediction from last year.
Yeah, well,
He did say he was going to run with the same prediction because it's
He's
still valid.
creatively bankrupt at this point. The bonus is a second screen, so same as last year. GTA 6 will be announced for the Nintendo Switch 2 for the launch of that console.
Not sure about
What?
that.
Yeah,
Nah.
he's
Insane.
dreaming.
Not happening,
He's
Chief.
dreaming.
Not happening, Chief.
Speaking of dreams, a new Ape Escape game will be revealed.
Unless he's fucking making it himself. I don't think so.
I mean, why do you think he's in Vegas? He's
He's
teeing
trying.
up some
He's
developers.
pitching. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Maybe he's just trying to get some money from the roulette table to fund the game.
One of his predictions these are all the same predictions he had last year.
I feel like they're all the same.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he not just copying and pasting
Are you
his
sure you read
ones
the
from last
message
year?
right?
One of his predictions last year was PS5 Pro will launch with Ape Escape being a launch title. And then he had those
Slightly
exact
edited.
two that you've just said.
Yeah, well.
Oh, well, they have rolled over for 2025 for Shannon. That's what he gets for not being here. That is what it is.
Yeah.
And he only gets 3. Fuck him.
I love that he got a half point for the PS5 Pro launching with Ape Escape being a launch title because the PS5 Pro obviously did launch, just not with Ape Escape, and he's just ditched that component and gone, I'm committing entirely to Ape Escape now.
I just
if
hope
there
one
was a
day it
time,
happens for him, so he can be finally happy.
I don't think we'll ever hear the end of it if that day ever comes.
I think I'll make a game. That'll be my Christmas present.
Well, what would you make the game on? Do you know a game engine of some kind, or are you just thinking like Visual Basic?
I don't fucking know. I'll work it out. There's so much junk on the eShop at the moment. I'll just make something like that.
Alrighty. Well, a stack of predictions right there, but I do have a rapid fire question for each of you that's kind of prediction adjacent. Calling it now, what game do you think Press Start crowns as its Game of the Year 2025?
If it comes out, GTA 6. If it doesn't... Shit. Ghost of Yotei, just because it's a Sony first party, and that's what we
I
do.
was going to say Ghost of Yotei, given the track record.
We
but we also have a Remedy game coming out this year, supposedly. So it could also be FBC Firebreak. Who knows?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Ghost of Yotei is my guess. James, what do you reckon is going to track the votes from Press Start riders this year?
I actually think there's a good chance that Monster Hunter Wilds will break into the
Top 5.
The team. Like I feel like it's going to take what they did with Worlds and just expand it more, right? And then all of you guys who normally like, oh no, like will actually play it and really get into it. And we'll all have our own little separate groups that play it, but we'll all love it.
There's enough guys already on team that I think that sort of would get around it. Like, I think Harry's very much into that.
Yeah,
I think...
like, to be very clear, I don't really like Monster Hunter. I used to love Monster Hunter, but I don't really like it anymore. I didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll love it.
I think it'll do well. I think that's a top 5er.
They won a bunch of new fans with World, right? So yeah, I think there's a good chance. I reckon I'm going to end up playing it at launch because my brother was obsessed with it, and I reckon he'll want friends to play with it this year. So maybe we could play, James.
You always say this.
Always, Ewan. Always.
All right, let's play What the Wiki, the Press Start podcast game show where the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game, and the contestants must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess, with the round concluding after someone's bagged themselves 2 points. It is the start of a new season, being the start of a new year, so we don't have a winner from last week, but James, you won the season in what just is a continued reign. I can't remember. I don't think there's been a year we've played What the Wiki that you haven't won it. So I don't know. Maybe one day your time will come, but it doesn't look like it'll be anytime soon. But as last season's winner, you are today's host. I'm still trying to think of ways like we can change the rules of this game to like stack it against James. But
yeah,
look, we had a pretty competitive season last year.
Should we just say double points for you guys all the time?
Don't be facetious.
You need some sort of handicap. Maybe we could just like put you on negative 10 points at the start of the season and see how we go.
Or he has to wear earplugs for the first paragraph or something like that. He can't listen. Yeah. I don't know. No, look, he's just that good. It is what it is. You wouldn't cut Ronaldo's legs off, would you?
I just really like video games.
That's it.
But yeah.
And that's not a crime.
Let's just see how high these records can go. Huh?
Did you get your
All
trophy?
Right, James,
Show us the trophy on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm owed 4, I think.
Yeah. I owe James a bunch of trophies. One day that'll happen.
They'll come one day.
I actually, last year, so like a year ago, I did start looking into like different trophies, and I was trying to find something video game themed, and they all sucked.
It's in the mail.
So I need someone that can 3D print something. If you can design and 3D print a trophy for James, let me know. James, you are...
He's muted
why do I have to make my own trophy?
Like, no, I'm putting the call out to everyone, not just you.
Right.
You 3 people out there. One of you has to have a 3D printer.
My brother knows how to 3D print. Maybe I can task him with coming up with something.
Ewan, can you mute me, like, remotely?
No. Why? Did you think
as
that's
like
what I've been doing?
Oh,
I can, but I haven't been.
You could do, like, James is muted for the first, like, the first 2 paragraphs.
You can't go in, yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I can speak, but no one can hear me.
I feel like I don't want to just target the rule specifically at you. I want something that could, like, apply to, like, whoever's kind of in the lead or something.
Yeah, don't nerf me. Buff everyone else.
Yeah.
The best rule.
Yeah. We'll think of something that will integrate
mid-year.
Yeah.
All right, James, take it away.
Okay, this game features several biomes, each of which is a large open world for players to explore. In this game, players can seamlessly move between the larger world and their village, where they can cook food, replenish their supplies, and craft new gear. Quests can be started whenever players locate their targets in the wild.
Ewan?
The game introduced...
Oh.
Ewan was first.
I was going to guess Valheim, but I'm not confident.
Not at all.
No.
Brody?
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
No. Wow.
Okay.
The game introduces a new type of mount called the Secret, which aids, spelled Seikret, or Sacred, I don't know, which aids player exploration, directs them towards their current objective, but can also be ridden during combat. The Sacred also allows the player character to carry 2 distinct weapons while hunting, though armor can only be changed when you're in the village.
Ewan?
That's my messenger coming through. Yeah.
See, this is where I haven't played it, but I'm taking a punt. Is it Monster Hunter Worlds?
No.
Oh,
Ewan,
shit.
it's not.
How close was I?
All for Brody.
Is it Monster Hunter Wilds?
It is Monster Hunter Wilds.
Damn it. Well, you're welcome, Brody.
Thanks. Oh, dear. James muted himself again.
What an upset. Sorry. I was meant to say. Yep. Okay, let's listen.
It's not me.
Yeah. This game is set in 1579 during the Azuchi Momoyama period.
Brody.
This era marks... Oh, I
Shit.
think that was Brody.
Ghost of Tsushima.
No. Ewan, do
I'm
you
going
want
to take a punt. Is it Assassin's Creed Shadows? No, that's
It
later.
is Assassin's Creed.
Oh, is it?
Congratulations.
I thought it, but I was like, no, what are the odds? I guess that.
What are
was
the
first
odds? Yeah. I was so surprised you didn't say it, Brody. One apiece. We need a
Here we go.
tiebreaker.
What was the first game?
No
These are
double points today.
Games
No
coming out
double
this year,
points.
clearly.
This game is an action role-playing game that can be played from both first-person and third-person perspectives. Players can use magic, melee weapons, and firearms. Yes, Brody.
Avowed.
Yes, it is Avowed.
God damn it.
Congratulations.
He was just too quick on the trigger there.
Absolutely.
Well, Brody, you're off the mark with 2 points in first place there. And I'm bringing up the rear in 1. But I'm sure James and Shannon will be in the seats, in the hot seats next week and bag themselves some points.
They'll be in the seats.
As you're hosting, Brody. With that, let's bring then to what was this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listener or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at pressstart.au and visit the site at pressstart.com.au. We're being joined today by James.
Yeah, you can find me on X at @Jams, ATJAMZ. I'm also on Blue Sky, but I don't really know how to easily talk about that, so just Google my name and work it out.
I'm currently
You'll find
juggling X, Blue Sky, and Threads, and I'm like, I don't know what to commit to. I don't know if I'm going to do something
Same.
slightly different on
It's
each
hard.
platform.
I
don't
feel like
know.
Just Google James Berich Blue Sky. I'm sure it will come up.
Yeah. I feel like Blue Sky and Threads are just still so very close to dead that I'm not sure it's worth persisting with it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I just haven't
It's just surprised how active Blue Sky is. I think a lot of people that were like I thoroughly enjoyed on Twitter are like on Blue Sky, but yeah, Threads kind of just has a bit more like mainstreaminess to it, I feel.
Yeah,
I
true.
don't know. Bagging the points today was Brody.
Thank you. You can follow me on most things at Brody_DG.
And I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxburgh. Thanks again for tuning in. Excited for another year of the podcast. But until next time, happy gaming.
Bye.
Bye.